This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're at the Nostalgia Tattoo Company since 2011 with Mr. Scary here at the helm. He has been recognized as one of the top 10 artists in 2005. You've pretty much shared your work worldwide, not to mention all along the Front Range here. Appreciate you joining us here. Why don't we start out for the viewers here?
Yep.
Explain to me what got you involved here.
I've always been an artist, my whole life. I was doing movie special effects back in the 80s and early 90s, and I was in California working on a film in 91, and I met a tattoo artist out there who was actually really famous at the time. And I showed her some of my graphic arts and some of the stuff I'd been into, and she said, well, you should think about being a tattoo artist. And I said, well, I make movies for a living. I mean, how cool is that? I don't want to do anything else. Right. But within a couple of years of that is when the computer-generated graphics started happening as far as movies and that sort of thing. But she'd planted the seed, so that's where I kind of thought, well, I'll try something else. And man, at 21 years later, so
never looked back, right?
Never looked back, no.
I mean, you've obviously been involved in the industry long enough to be able to experience and enjoy this shift from a hidden cottage industry into really more mainstream where people are embracing this type of art. Why do you think that happened?
It went from being very underground and being kind of a biker culture thing, or very, unsavory, that had that reputation for so long. And we started seeing celebrities getting tattooed. We started seeing it getting recognized as an art form. I went to a retreat last year, and they were talking about how this is the next renaissance of art. A lot of the books that are being published now are by artists. There's a tattoo artist right now that got to do paintings for one of the Ivy League schools for all of their psych departments. So everybody that's ever been a psych professor there had him paint their portrait, and now it's hanging in their hall. So you're seeing tattoo artists being recognized now as artists, and it's what we do for a living, but you are seeing them being more so, doing things that are way beyond tattooing and being recognized because of that.
Obviously, folks are getting tattoos for many, many different reasons. What are some of the popular ones that you come across that seem to really jump out?
Some people buy it just as the art. Some people like Asian style art. It's a kind of that expression of what their thing is that they like so much. We get guys that are into hot rods, so we get the hot rod culture, and we get people that are into scary stuff. So we're doing a lot of movie monster portraits and actor portraits, that sort of thing. Portraits is actually one of the big booming pieces of tattooing right now.
I mean, unlike artists out there that have been painting forever, maybe on a canvas, you guys are taking it straight to a canvas that is living, breathing, permanent. I mean, it really has to give you some kind of honor for people to place that kind of trust in you as an artist.
Absolutely. And I've done some things over the years. I had a young man who was 15 years old, and I don't tattoo anybody under 18, but he was dying of cancer. So his bucket list, one of his things was to get a tattoo. And so I made this exception in my own world to go and tattoo this kid to give him something. Here just in the last couple months, I tattooed a gentleman that has ALS, and he's completely paralyzed except for his eyes. But in his thought process, all of a sudden, I want to get a tattoo, so I had to make a journey to his house and do it while he's in a hospice situation. So there's definitely a level of it that's changed a little bit, where people see it as so important. Last wish important, but then there's other people that just like to get tattooed. They like to have adornment, versus buying shoes or their sunglasses or something. They adorn themselves with their tattoos. So that kind of evolution is definitely something for us as artists, where we get to use that body as a canvas, that we create something that's forever, that we know. So it's pretty amazing.
I mean, you've made a great living here being a tattoo artist. You've been a great living expressing yourself through art and also collaborating with your clients so they're able to express themselves as well. Is that initial consultation, is that where a lot of the magic happens and the ball gets rolling?
And I'm unique in the way I tattoo, because a lot of people, they're very, very specific about how they design their tattoos for that person. And a lot of times, and I get that because people come here for me to create for them. So they'll say, I've got this idea, I want a pirate ship, and I want the mermaid, and I want this and that, and then they just say, go, okay, there you go. And so for me, I'm fortunate in that I don't have so many restrictions. My reputation has become that let him do what he does. So that's a blessing for me. A lot of artists are very restricted, and they're told exactly what that person wants, and if it's, they're watching to make sure that it's getting to that. And so, sometimes it's that white picket fence. They say, I want this specific thing. It has to be a perfect white picket fence, and I don't have that restriction a lot of times. So for me as an artist, I have a lot more freedom than a lot of artists. artists.
Somebody else who has basically an idea of what they want, maybe they've looked through some flash art and that's a basis of starting, or even they've already got art completely done. Is the shop able to accommodate those folks all across the board?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I have a great crew, and I'm always big on my shops having a really strong crew, because I don't want to be that guy that they go, well, he's amazing, those guys are okay. I want people to, like you said, walk in and go, okay, Scary's booked for months, but I want to get this piece this weekend, and Joshua can take care of him, or Tanner. You know, I've got one guy that's working for me, Sean, that's actually booking up. He's a month or two out too, so we're starting to kind of have to watch that a little bit where everybody can get in. You know, but it's definitely something. We have people come in, they're 5-year-old drew a picture, and it has to be exactly that. It's a memory that they want to save. Sure. So we don't modify that, you know, and we do get people that come in that are very specific that that's something they have to have, or, you know, a memorial piece for somebody. And I'm okay with that, you know, and I'll still do, if somebody wants a name, or if they want a little Celtic piece or tribal or piece of flash, like you said, I'm not above that, you know, but it's just, you might wait 3 months to get in with me to do it, where one of my other guys could do it, you know, sooner.
And do a great job for them as well. If I were to get a tattoo out there, I mean, quite honestly, I don't think this is the kind of thing you want to go shop by price strictly. I mean, really, this is permanent. It's on your body. What do you recommend for folks out there? They've never gotten a tat before, and basically they're now shopping for an artist. What should they look for?
In this day and age with the internet, you know, and all of our devices and everything, the research. You know, Google, you know, do that research. Come to the shops. You know, I tell people all the time, you don't have to get tattooed here, but come here and see what we have and how we do it and what the shop's like. So when you walk in another shop, and if it's not seem as clean, or the people aren't as friendly, or there's not that vibe, that maybe that's not the right place. And I always recommend that, to do your research, look at the artwork. If you walk in and say, well, I want this, you know, I want a daisy tattoo, and they go, oh, I'm not doing that, that's dumb. Maybe that's not the guy for you. You know, you want them to say, okay, you want a daisy, so let me see as an artist what I can do with it. Or, you know, maybe you have some ideas as an artist and you collaborate to create that. You know, we see a lot of people right now going to home tattoo artists, and that's so unsafe and it's so dangerous, and you don't know where this guy's training's from and what equipment he's using. And, you know, if he doesn't care enough to have a place that he has that's this clean and this nice, is he going to be that safe for you? You know, that's something that's not safe, but people say, well, it's $50. It's not a medical procedure, but it's got something that invades your skin, and you're going to be putting something in the skin, and if you're not taking care of it, that process, you could end up with staph or MRSA or all these horrible, horrible things. Why go there?
Quite honestly, you've got veteran artists that are on the board with you. You've also got some new blood. And so really it's a great variety of styles for the consumer out there that they definitely benefit from.
Absolutely. You know, my apprentice, Tanner, just finished his apprenticeship in January. And he's a phenomenal artist. Some of his paintings are hanging on our walls, and I mean, he's amazing. But he is a young tattoo artist, so his rate is way less, you know. Sure, but the thing of it is you give him that trust. You know that I stand behind him, and if there seems to be that he's a little over his head, or you're not feeling like quite where you wanted it to be, I'm there. I'll take care of that. Make sure that it gets to where you envisioned it as well. So he has that behind him that, you know, you can get a little better price. You get a little bit of a kid who's wanting to learn, but you're getting my standing behind it, that guarantee. So that's a big thing too. As
a member of the National Tattoo Association, you yourself have over 200 awards you've received. You've been able to share your work really worldwide. Share with us a latest, recent, or maybe one of the most proud moments you've got as far as an award goes.
You know, it's funny, you go through phases as an artist, especially if you're growing as an artist. So I've had these weird phases over my career where I call my crown jewels, pieces that have really accomplished something. And there's a girl hanging here on the wall, my fairy wings. And in 2004, she is the only tattoo still to this day to be on the cover of 3 magazines the same month. But at that time, that was a huge thing. I mean, and that was a big crown jewel. Right now, I have a gentleman named Michael Morrissey, and he tours all over the country. He's a recording artist and does a lot of stuff producing music. And I did an upper body suit, so his entire upper body's done. And he actually put me over 300 awards internationally. He got 65 in 1 year by himself. So yeah, it's amazing. You know, so he's my newest crown jewel. I'm working on a lot of color portrait work. That's kind of a new thing for me. So I have one guy that's doing a Stephen King back piece with a bunch of characters from the movies, and that has not been beat yet. But it's like you grow. You go through your phases of, you know, I did certain things at one time in my career and artistically really enjoyed it, and then I moved into something else. And so those are the every step kind of thing.
Yourself, you've been able to share worldwide, go out. Are you also open to having guest artists here? Is that something you enjoy doing?
Absolutely. We had Amy Nicoletto from LA Inc. here for a little while. She's been here a couple times now. I've had Paco Rollins in. So, you know, people know who I am out in the world. And if they're traveling, and I'm a touring artist, I've been touring for 16 years. And so So being on the road for conventions, and a lot of the friends I have on the road, as they're traveling back and forth across the country, they'll swing in, you know, because they have a week in between or something, so they'll stop by for a couple of days and do some work, and I always love that. I love hosting them. You know, it's fun to have people that I look up to as much as, you know, we're friends and everything, so to have them come by the shop is awesome.
You take care of the folks on the front end, make sure that you're the right shop in the consultation. You take care of them during the procedure, and also take care of them afterwards. I mean, as far as servicing them, and you've also got some aftercare products that you offer as well.
Absolutely. Inkies is really new to the industry, and I'm actually one of the guys that helps in the research and development of that. And so they test a lot of products through me and that sort of thing. And they've done products that we use for numbing, which is a huge new thing. Old timers say you got to earn it. You know, it's got to hurt. It's supposed to hurt. Well, not necessarily. And I definitely see people that have got 50, 60, 70 hours, and now they want to do a space that's like their armpit or something that's going to be painful. And absolutely, take the edge off. Make sure that we get the artwork done. So that's a product that Inkies provides. And then we have aftercare products through Inkies, which are better than pretty much anything that's out there right now. So we use a lot of their products here in the shop, and that's a nice thing to have to offer to the public as well. So
yeah, wonderful. Folks, you've got it all right there. If you take a look at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see his website. On the website, you're going to get a clearer idea of some of the artists they have on the floor here. Check out their bio, check out their portfolios. You got guys that are working on folks of all walks of life. They have years and years of experience on the floor. You've also got some new blood here that is being watched over by the veterans as well. And you can even book your appointment right there online. Keep in mind, though, they can take some walk-ins if their appointment book does accommodate that. And just remember, this is a professional studio here that basically has years of experience with Mr. Scary at the helm. And remember, it's a place that basically represents the journey of his life. He would like to create some artwork for you that represents the journey of your life. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.